A los medios,
Means, which by definition are scarce, are also called economic goods. There are two main types of economic goods:
los llamados bienes económicos
consumer
de consumo,
economic
bienes de
goods
consumo,
or consumer goods,
y los llamados bienes
and higher order economic goods or factors of production. What are consumer economic goods or consumer goods? They are goods which directly satisfy human needs. By themselves, they permit an actor to achieve an end of value to him or her. They are also called first-order economic goods. And now I'll explain why. Examples of consumer goods. Well, very easy. An aspirin. My head hurts from so much listening to Professor Huerta de Soto. I take an aspirin, and immediately my headache goes away. The aspirin is a consumer good. A fried egg. I'm terribly hungry. I eat a fried egg, and my hunger goes away. These are economic goods, consumer goods.
Como se me quita el hambre. Bienes económicos, bienes de consumo. ¿Y qué son los factores de
And what
producción?
are factors of production? Factors of production are economic goods, which are therefore scarce, and which only indirectly, following a longer or shorter process that takes time, and always in connection with other goods, permit the fulfillment of human needs. Notice what a large difference there is between the two types of economic goods. Consumer goods satisfy human needs directly and immediately. In contrast, factors of production always require the additional involvement of other goods and a production process that takes time until they eventually develop into a consumer good. So, higher order economic goods, or factors of production, only satisfy needs indirectly, if you will, in connection with complementary goods, and following a process that takes time. They are called economic goods of higher order, the second order, the third order, the fourth order, and so on. The higher the order, the further a good is from the final stage of consumption. We are indebted to Carl Menger for this contribution, which we will see has enormous implications when we study the theory of capital. So, let's suppose I'm really hungry and I feel like eating a fried egg. And there it is on a plate before me, all crispy and golden, with the yolk just right and a pinch of salt on top. It makes my mouth water. At the point when I'm about to eat it, the egg is a consumer good. But let's go back to a prior stage. Before I had the fried egg on a plate on the table in my dining room, there was another stage. I had a frying pan with hot olive oil in it, the egg in a little cup, and the salt to my left. Well, those four things, the oil, the frying pan, the egg before it is cracked open, and the salt, are higher order economic goods, goods of the second order. They are only one stage removed from consumption. All I have to do is crack the egg open, drop it into the oil for a moment, take it out, and sprinkle a little salt on top, and I have a consumer good. Note that higher order economic goods require the involvement of other goods. The oil alone is not enough. I need to add the egg and a pinch of salt. A period of time is necessary. Several minutes before the egg becomes a consumer good. Right now we're thinking about economic goods of the second order, like the frying pan, from the stage prior to consumption and closest to it. But we can go further back and imagine a sheet of steel in the corresponding factory, where a machine is going to squash it into the shape of a frying pan. Well, there is a block of steel and a machine that shapes it. They are higher order economic goods, goods of the third order, and they are more distant from consumption. Two machines are required to shape the steel, so it can be sold as a frying pan. We could continue to trace back through the stages until we arrived at the economic good of the highest order, recently extracted iron ore at the mine entrance, before the ore is taken to a blast furnace and converted into steel. It's very important that you grasp this philosophy of the production process as a set of successive stages, in each of which goods take the form of economic goods of a different order. This is important because when we study the theory of prices, we will see that as human beings subjectively value consumer goods and exchange them, they determine market prices for them, for the fried egg in this case. we will also see that the moment they do so, they indirectly determine the price of the steel, the oil, the salt, and the unbroken egg through complex mechanisms, market forces driven by entrepreneurship. In other words, the price, or the valuation, to put it in more general terms, of the factors of production is ultimately determined by the value actors attach to the consumer goods these factors of production help to produce. Therefore, if iron has value, if steel has value, if coal has value, if electricity has value, it is simply because, through different combinations, highly complex processes, and longer or shorter time periods, they eventually develop into consumer goods, which actors value and which do directly satisfy human needs. I'd like to wrap up my comments on this section by mentioning services. Traditionally, services are defined as non-material economic goods. I also used to see services defined in textbooks as economic goods whose processes of production and consumption are simultaneous. A concert is a good example of a service. When we attend a concert, we enjoy the music at the same time the musicians are playing it. The music is produced and consumed simultaneously. It is also said that services provide non-material satisfaction. Mainstream textbooks offer the following examples of service: concerts, haircuts, and financial services like life insurance, etc. But if we reflect a little on that classification, which has become accepted in economics, we see that it is arbitrary, that there is no rationale behind it. What is it that actually gives me satisfaction? Is it the fried egg as a thing? No. It's actually the experience of eating it, chewing it, swallowing it. Nom nom. In the end, it's a subjective sensation or feeling, just like with a car. It's true that if I buy a car as a consumer good, I can touch my car and say, "What a beautiful Rolls-Royce I have," or Bentley, like the professor's, hand-painted with 5 coats of gold paint. The neighbours must be green with envy, etc. But notice, is it the car itself, or the subjective satisfaction of thinking that I have a nice car, that my neighbour is jealous, that women like it, that it has reclining seats for my girlfriend, or boyfriend, sorry. What is it really? These things are also services. They're all services. They amount to subjective, spiritual satisfaction, even when they appear to be material goods. We'll see this is true when we talk about price determination in Pretty Woman. Services. Even in the case of the most material good you can conceive of, it is the services the good provides which human beings subjectively value. However, it has become so common to stress this materialistic difference between goods and services that I could not avoid mentioning it now.